Good evening, it's Brian at Fitzpatrick's Garage, Dublin Road, Kildare. Let's have a look at the Hyundai Kona, and this is 1 litre turbocharged in petrol, and this car is the executive model. Brian's my name. This is Fitzpatrick's Garage, Kildare Town. We do Hyundai, as you can see, and then there's also garages in Naas, Carlow and Tullamore as well, and for Hyundai, Opel, Honda and Mercedes. So the garage is in operation for almost 70 years. So if you're spending a lot of money on a really nice car like this, you know that there's going to be an after-sale service. Anyway, let's have a look at the car. So looking from the front of the car, we can see nice front fog lights in through there. The cascading grille, which is a characteristic of a lot of Hyundai models. In through here you have your dipped headlight and also your full headlight. Nice daytime running lights down through there, which also serve as parking lights. And over here the indicators are recessed out. These are just little reflectors on the side and they look quite nice as well. As we move forward, this car, as we were saying, is a 1 litre turbocharged engine. And that engine is actually putting out 120 horsepower. However, it is frugal. So the idea of these 1 litre turbocharged engines is that they don't use a lot of fuel because of the displacement size, which is 1 litre, but the turbocharger manages to actually make good power. Put that in perspective, if you looked at, say, like a 1.4 in the previous model, which is the i30 over there, that was putting out just over almost 109 horsepower, whereas this is 120 horsepower from 1 litre, and it's actually great fun to drive. If you move down through the side of the car, then you'll see these are a 17-inch alloy wheel, which is unique to the executive model. The model before it is a 16-inch wheel. As we said, down along through here, there is arches all the way around, and they're big and fat, and they look really, really nice. This one is what's called a dark night. Some of these cars, just be careful when you are looking at them, will have a black roof and some of them won't. The black roof is an additional extra which can be put onto any of the cars. After that then there is black roof rails up high, and then we move around to the back of the car. You'll see along through here, if we try and get out of the sun because it is so bright this evening, moving in closer maybe we might get a better idea. So there's a nice diffuser down along the bottom in through there. There's parking sensors all the way up through here. The taillights are quite distinctive on the car, so you'll see they're a nice LED in the shape that they are all the way through. And then down through here, the indicators on either side with reverse lamps and fog lamps are really, really distinctive looking. Overall, I suppose it is fair to say that is an extremely unique looking car compared to other cars on the market. But to be fair, the feedback that we've gotten here at the garage, and it's actually, if you see, the styling has now gone into Santa Fe as well, so it's unique, but actually because there's so many cars on the market that look so similar, Hyundai's new design philosophy is actually differentiating them from some of the other competitors out there. So it's nice to see a new way of looking at things. Okay, in terms of spec inside the car, we're going to start off by looking in the boot. So the boot is a reasonable size, and the good thing about it is it has 2 levels. So this is actually the higher level. However, if you take it out, you can then basically re-slide it back in at a lower area. So what you've done essentially is you've gained, just giving the camera a second there, you've gained this area from here to here in terms of height, and that actually makes a difference when you're loading up the car. And a spare wheel is also standard. In an era of spare wheels disappearing, Kona still has a spare wheel. And God knows Irish people love an out spare wheel. In terms of size, because this is, I suppose, the smaller end of the SUV market, so it's hard sometimes for people that see cars advertised, but it's hard to get an idea of what size they are. So think about it this way: I've got headroom here, but that means I am 6 foot. In front of me I've got space here, but that seat is actually quite far back, and that I would normally sit further forward than what that is there, but this is just to give you an idea, worst case scenario. In terms of size beside me, so if I'm looking, this is me sitting in the car, size beside me, yes, you can put an adult through here. Would I be comfortable long distance? It's doable, but you wouldn't be doing it the whole time. But again, this car is not for 5 the whole time. It's a comfortable 4-seater overall. But there is, back down here, Isofix over here on either side. So my side and the side over here has Isofix. We have these 3 head restraints across the back. There's 3 3-point safety belts, and then there's electrics for windows and also child locks, and as we can see here, privacy glass, because this is the executive model. In terms of the material on the seats, there is a grey, well, say, how would you say, I suppose a light grey, darker grey and even darker grey section again, so it's kind of like a 3-tone sort of effect. There is kangaroo pockets in the back of both of the front seats, and as we said, then we talked about the safety features. After that then, all these doors will always have side impact protection bars which move from the front down into the front door of the car. And actually, one thing about the Kona, actually, where I suppose Hyundai excel, the construction of the car involves using a really high tensile steel, and because Hyundai are such large manufacturers, they have access to steel, and actually they have their own steel factory, so they can produce, I suppose, metal at a rate that nobody else can. So it allows them to put really high tensile steel into their cars compared to other manufacturers which can't do it for the same price. In terms of safety, again, we have driver's airbag, we have passenger, the side of the seat up through here, and then after that obviously there is curtain all the way down the side over there as well. Anywho, in terms of the front and rear electrics, they're located there, central locking, child locks for windows. As we move towards the inside of the car, then we've got traction control, we've got lane change warning, which as you see is popping up through there, and this is going to warn you if you have drifted out of lane on a motorway. This seat is height adjustable. You can adjust the back part, it keeps the three-tone effect, and then after that we have lumbar support for your lower back in through there as well. In terms of the inside of the cabin, so I'm just going to let this door close, and it gives you an idea of what's going on. So looking ahead of you, this is what you see. These are the clocks that you see when your hands are on the wheel like that. As we saw already, then our controls for windows are over here, and then down through the steering wheel in through there, we can change, as you see up here in the center while I'm pressing this button, it's changing the menus here, which is telling me about things like fuel economy. It's telling me current speed. I can move across then lane keep assist. So this one over here is a warning, but over here I've got lane keep assist, so it's going to try and basically manipulate the wheel to keep me dead center between those two lines if I have it switched on. After that then I go down through the various settings and all that kind of stuff. Clocks are nice and big and bright. They remind me of the Lexus stuff from years ago, which I quite liked. Cruise control is in through here. Headlights are automated, so they'll come on themselves at night. Bluetooth is located in through here. So that is what's going on right in front of you. If you look over here and down, we have our 6 4-gear gearbox. I have heated seats on my side. Passenger gets heated seat. After that then I have hill descent control, which limits your speed going down a hill if you want in tricky conditions. We said there was parking sensors, but to go with the parking sensors, if I go for reverse, I also get a nice big reverse camera, and it's also got dynamic guidelines, so as I'm turning left or right on the wheel, it's turning as well to give me an idea of what my trajectory is. Over here then I have digital climate control, so I can speed up or slow down the fan, warm or cold, and I can get the car to do it all automatically itself if I want. USB connectors and 12 volt power in through there, and then the big screen in through here, which is the floating dash. So back home we can start off, we can go into a radio setup in through there, or what I really like about this is smartphone connection. So these days now it's allowing you to access Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, and the whole idea there then is you can use all the functionality of your phone up on the screen. It doesn't have navigation, but the whole idea is because you have these two functions, you're going to be using things like Google Maps instead. One other thing as well I forgot to say is wipers are actually automated on this particular car, which is usually only reserved for the higher end specifications. So again, this is the middle specification on a Kona. So if you think about it, to summarize on this car, they're really funky, they grab your attention, they look really nice. There's a long warranty on the car for 5 years. There is roadside assist for a similar amount of time. Sometimes, depending at the time you buy the car, you can be offered things like free servicing or low APR finance. But one thing that really strikes me on this car, for what it is, great value for money. This car, at the price structure, it's in the mid-20s, and if you compare that to some of the competition, and for a lot of SUVs, they're normally pushing into late 20s, early 30s. This one, I think, is serious value for money. So just to recap, this is the executive spec. This is the middle of the road spec, and this is what I feel and what we see so far has been the most popular model in the Kona overall. So if you want a car that is really funky looking and it turns heads, but it's actually affordable and there's a good after sale service and it's easy to run, this is definitely something I would recommend. Then again, I would say that, wouldn't I? But actually no, it is really good value for money for what you're getting spec wise. And it's a really cool car, and I think you're going to hold value well, because there is an SUV, I suppose, a hunger for that kind of a car in this country, and that's what will support prices long term, I think. Anyway, on a car like this, we can offer you finance, we can take any part exchange you have. If you come to the garage in Kildare, please do ask for me, Brian. I'd appreciate that. If you want to know information before you travel, 086 843 1945, call, text, WhatsApp, and thank you for taking time to watch.